Hola my mense, Matisa man, verskoon the voice, but you know the show has to go on. Welcome to The Tribe here on One Africa TV. My name is Shea Ulenga, and this week on The Tribe we are catching up with multi-talented Namibian award-winning singer-songwriter, composer and performer Vaughn Ahrens. And we're introducing you to breakthrough Oberisha artist George Nderura. He's talking on 10 albums and how one gets there. All that and so much more right here on The Tribe. Do stay tuned.
Hey, this is Vaughn Ahrens. Catch The Tribe on One Africa TV.
You are set on time for our Tribe exclusive featuring Namibian award-winning singer-songwriter Vaughn Ahrens. Vaughn, you've been here before? Once at least, op Swagster.
It feels like a million years ago.
Like it really does.
It feels like I need to ask you, how's your life been? How's your family?
I know, everybody's well. I hope yours and your side are too.
Everybody's well on my side as well.
Absolutely. It hasn't been an easy journey though, ever since 2018, 2019. You were supposed to go on tour.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, and then something's happened. What have you been up to since we spoke to you last?
Well, since we last spoke, we went on a European tour. So we went to Germany and the Netherlands and Luxembourg. And then we were booked back the next year, but that was the infamous 2020. And then everything kind of got stopped. And the rest has been a blur, really.
From since?
We had a whole album written. And during the first lockdown, we reviewed the music and we were like, we don't feel any of these things anymore.
How did people receive you though when you were out there in Luxembourg?
It was
in Germany?
incredible.
Yeah.
Like we had somehow, and I can be honest with myself, right? I'm not well known in Germany, right? I know if I can have a show in Namibia, I'll have quite a decent attendance. Nobody, I didn't think so anyways. But we had these sold out shows in these little villages, right? But it's because it's such a, we played in venues that people don't generally visit, you know, people don't generally go there. And I remember one specific place we were playing in this little German hamlet called Kettisch. Sold out, completely sold out in this back garden thing. And the mayor or whatever was there as well.
The mayor came to Hala?
So he came to us and he speaks to me in German. My German is poor at best. Luckily, my bassist at the time, Johnny, he's German through and through. And basically what this guy came was like, thank you for bringing your show to my town. Like, wow, that's pretty cool.
We had the opportunity to only see it from social media, obviously, and I was very impressed with, oh my gosh, like Vaughn has been trying this for the past 5 years and already being able to move beyond borders and still go make that impression. Which is why we're hollering back at you on The Tribe.
Right.
Yes, you're one of the musicians in the land of the brave who's got the coolest gigs ever. Follow Vaughn Ahrens' Instagram, you will not be disappointed. He looks like he's out there selling tourism. Tell us about some of the highlights.
One of the cooler gigs I did recently was on a boat.
On a boat?
On like a catamaran, well with Laramon, I don't know if you know Laramon Tours in Walvis Bay. So they had these, they put up sound system at the back of the boat and I was jamming on this boat. Even in the COVID times, even during when we were not supposed to be playing, we had these weird like small gigs on like in the desert.
Yeah,
like
I know.
we have these people like bring us out to the desert and it's like, it was 5 or 6 people or something. It was
private gigs you're being booked for.
this little things,
yeah.
and it's been weird, but I'm happy to be able to do this. I don't think if the year went the way it should have, because we were supposed to go back on tour, we were supposed to go to South Africa, we had festivals and stuff, so we wouldn't have had the experience of playing these little intimate things. Although I am at the point now where I want to play the big gigs.
Yeah, again, you kind of miss it.
I'm kind of itching to get back on the festival stage.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. Yeah.
How does it feel being booked for tours and being booked in spaces like South Africa when Namibian artists hardly get that opportunity a lot, and especially being booked during a time like COVID-19? Like, how does that make you feel, and what do you hope could be done better for other artists to get these opportunities?
Well, in South Africa, I can't tell you yet because we never went on this tour. But I mean, it was quite exciting to know that, because I feel like I've played everywhere in Namibia at this point. I've really played north, south, west, east, everywhere. And I'm really excited to kind of connect with new people at the gigs. And I think the first step for any Namibian artist is just taking the leap. Our first European tour wasn't like sponsored or wasn't, we weren't contacted by the clients. We contacted venues and said, we are going to be here, what's up? Let's do something. And I think a lot of people, they get demotivated because they see artists going on these tours to all around, to weird places around the world. But you know, for me especially, I wasn't asked to go there. I had to make an initiative to get there. And I think a lot of people think I'm not good enough because I'm not being asked to play these venues. Well, neither was I, but I asked.
I'm offering my services.
No. All they can say is no,
Yes.
right? And then you move on to the next venue.
And then you move on to the next venue.
There's 1,003,000 other venues that want live music, and you know what? It only takes one to say yes, and that's what happened with us. We didn't have a very extensive tour. I think we had like 9 dates or something across 2 weeks, and from that we got booked for the next one. So you just need to get the initial one and then practice, obviously, get there and you know, kick some butt.
Absolutely.
And then the next ones will come. And my advice is always to someone trying to get out there, just get out there, even if it's a free gig. In a place where exposure still counts something.
Yes.
Don't do an exposure gig in a town that you've played already, or in a place that is not going to give you exposure. Someone just trying to get something out of you. Do the exposure gigs. I've always, the first merch I ever bought out was a shirt that said was the definition of exposure, the magical entity that helps me pay my bills at the end of the month, which was, you know, a little bit tongue in cheek, but as I've traveled more, I do actually see the benefit in just playing for a big audience.
Absolutely.
You know, and it doesn't come directly usually. It usually comes from, I saw you at this thing and that thing, whatever, and then the
it's still an exposure. It's still you being,
100%,
if you're getting paid, you're still being exposed to a new audience that has never seen you perform before, and they will cut you to say, yo, what's up?
Definitely.
Come through. Now, it's even for award-winning artists, there are so many challenges, and those challenges have come up even more now during this COVID-19 time. What are some of the challenges that you face, and how did you deal with them, like not being able to perform?
It feels like have you ever had a hose pipe in the back garden, right? Put your finger on the water while the water's running. And it kind of feels like it's just, you know, at some point I'm gonna blow, man. Like I have to play music. I have to you know, play a gig or something. And my biggest one was obviously I hit a really bad depression during the first lockdown because we had huge cancellations for the months of April and May and through the whole year. So I fell into that hole for a while, and that's also why I scrapped the first album, because the album was titled Life and Other Anomalies, and I felt like it wasn't appropriate to what we were experiencing right now. So I scrapped it and I rewrote a whole new album. Entirely.
Albums and
I just felt it was disingenuous, you know. It
wasn't clicking. I wasn't relatable.
I wasn't going to go be singing about how great life is when life's not that great at the moment, is it? And that's how the new album, Here Lies Vaughn Ahrens, came.
That's my next question. Your sophomore album is coming up.
Yeah.
Here Lies Vaughn Ahrens.
Yeah.
Now, from my experience in life, that's something you put on your tombstone.
110%.
Tell us about what's behind the name, and then what's the content of the album. What language are you speaking to us now?
It's a total departure from my old style. That's where the Here Lies Vaughn Ahrens. It's a total annihilation of what people thought my sophomore was going to be. I wrote and I produced without any limits. If I was going to make a rap song with KP Illist on this side of the album, and the other side have a rock song, and in the middle have like an alternative pop song, you know, I'm going to do that. And I gave myself zero constraints to what, because I've always produced a bit of everything, really, but then I would always kind of weed out what I didn't think would work on the project, and I didn't do that whatsoever for this one.
Ek praat soms toch te veel oor al die dinge wat my onderkrijg. My hart beleef die onrechtvaardigheid van my lewe, hoe die aarde begin bewe in die stilte van my slaapkamer. Ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. Ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. Ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. Ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. En ek sê jammer, ek drink soms dalk te veel. As ek die einde van die aand kan maak, is ek dan 'n regte man. En ek sê jammer, ek gaan nie weer gereeld so baie kerk toe nie. Ek dalk so bietjie skaam vir wie ek nou geraak het. En ek sê jammer, ek sê jammer, ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. Ek sê jammer, ek sê jammer, ek is nie meer 'n man van goud nie. In a vision, I saw an image of you. Yeah. Sitting down on a park bench as...
Welcome back to our Tribe exclusive. We're talking to Namibian award-winning contemporary artist Vaughn Ahrens. Not actually, you know what? Scratch that. He's a diverse artist. He just mentioned to us that he can do it all. Your social media platforms are filled with love, not just from your fans, but also from your side. And I see you're wearing a band on your ring. I mean, like, are you engaged? Did you get married while we were sleeping?
No one's asked me this question before.
Okay, well, you can shake it. I mean, but it's out. We can see.
I have met the love of my life.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
This is it's a promise ring.
Okay.
I don't want to give away too much, but you can be on the lookout for that announcement at some point.
No problem, we gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it totally hit me, like blindsided me as it does.
Does that change how you make the music when you fall in love?
I've never made a love song.
Oh, yeah. You
Until I
don't
met
have
her.
love songs.
I don't have love songs. I write about weird stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've never written a. It's always been either a heartbreak, lots of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Pain, there's a lot of pain.
Lots of pain, but seriously, it just changes your whole way of thinking. I mean, it's not my first rodeo. It's not my first relationship or anything, but it's definitely the most healthy relationship I've ever been in.
We are healthy right there with you.
And it's healthy from both ways. I think a lot of people are not, when they say they're in a toxic relationship or in a relationship that's it doesn't necessarily mean that it's only from the one side. You might not know that your toxicity is a problem for that. Exactly. And I think this is it's very good for me.
And you feel it in your soul. You know when it's perfectly fine for you.
Yeah. I've always thought it's super corny when people say, when you know, you know. I'm like, oh, whatever, man. When you know, man. Now I'm that guy.
Now you know. Now you're that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thorn in My Side, your latest single, the inspiration behind the song. I know we mentioned earlier on, pain is your thing sometimes. And Thorn in My Side is deep.
Yeah.
It's really deep.
It's not my first song about mental health.
Yes.
But it's, so I feel that a lot of times, especially in countries like Namibia, mental health is not always taken as seriously as physical health. And I think as soon as we get to that point, we need to kind of weigh them up the same, because a healthy mind houses a healthy body and vice versa. So this is a song written from the perspective of someone who has a mental disorder such as schizophrenia. Those are the little clips you hear in between. It's an old interview I found from the 50s in Canada of a mental health patient being interviewed by a healthcare professional. And that's also, when you read the YouTube video description, that should give you as much as you need to know about the song. And kind of trying to frame that as a pop song. So that's always my little thing, is trying to get my message out there without sounding preachy, firstly, and secondly without losing any of its pop quality. And I have to say I'm quite happy with how it came out.
You have to listen.
It's different, yeah.
You're gonna listen to the song first, and then you're gonna feel the rhythm. You're gonna feel what's going on, and then you're gonna go like, wait, what's that in between? And when you go and watch it, then you go and understand, and then your mood changes. You start to have a better understanding because you're sharing with us what people with mental health go through. Totally love that. We know it's coming up on the next album. When is the album dropping? If you do have dates, if you don't, surprises, whatever. Where can we go to watch it?
I'm not gonna Kanye you and tell you one date and then move it out for like 6 months every time. I want to tell you end of the year, but we know that we're in a pandemic right now, and it's not as easy to take off as much to be in studio. So in an ideal world, end of the year. In a non-ideal world, beginning of next year. But it will be out in the next 6 months. That's for sure.
No doubt about that. Where do we go to follow you on social media and just stay up to date with you?
Everything. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok now.
Yeah.
Doing what the kids are doing. Getting on that social platform. I'm the world's most inconsistent TikToker. But every time I upload, I say Namibia's most consistent TikToker is back. Meanwhile, I post once every 3 weeks or something, or once a month, maybe.
But we're searching for Vaughn Ahrens,
Vaughn Ahrens everywhere. It's the same
everywhere.
handle everywhere. Vaughn Ahrens, VAUGHNAHRENS.
Thank you.
A thorn in the evening when they come alive. I swear to God I'd rather die than lay here in my room Watch the evil as it looms through my flat lid underneath my eyes, behind my doors, behind my blinds. I know it sounds untrue, and I know it sounds like I have lost my mind.
People become vague and empty. Their manner is childish, and they are gone. If they do react emotionally, their reaction is often inappropriate.
You're nothing but a thorn in my side. You're nothing but a thorn in my side. A thorn in my side.
She complains of auditory hallucinations, voices, and strange feelings of being controlled by unseen forces.
Take away my talking.
The voices?
Yes.
How does they do it?